What is going on, guys? This is Benny here, bringing another Brawl Stars video. So recently I just hit 11,000 trophies, and I felt I have a lot of valuable tips or maybe information to help you guys maybe that are wanting to push up in trophies, because as you push up in trophies, it helps you progress through your trophy road, which gives you more rewards, more brawlers and everything. So today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my top 5 tips that help you push trophies faster and the best way and everything. So hopefully you guys are excited. Definitely like you guys are. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and let's get into this. This first tip here, this is like a absolute fastest way to gain trophies early on when maybe you have a little bit lower trophies with the brawler, or you just unlocked a new brawler, and it is to hop into showdown matches. You get an insane amount of trophies for taking first place, or even up maybe even second or third. You still get a lot of trophies, and there is very minimal trophy losses for losing trophies. So it's pretty easy to place well. Like majority of the time you just want to try and survive. Now if you're playing like aggressive brawlers like the shotgunners mainly, or the close range brawlers, then you can be aggressive, kind of run and gun and just try and get trophies fast. Because if you guys remember, we've done it twice. If you guys remember Brawl Stars Ray, definitely check them out if you haven't, my good friend. We do a challenge where we try and gain trophies as fast as we can with a new brawler in like 12 minutes, and we've done it so far with Shelly, and we've done it so far with, I think, Crow. We'll hopefully get Leon soon to be able to do it with him, but basically in a 12-minute span we can get like 40 to 50 to 60 trophies in 12 minutes just going into showdown matches. Now with like Shelly, you could get a little bit more because she's a more aggressive brawler and you can just run into close engagement, but with Crow you kind of had to play a little bit more passive. But just look at that numbers, you can see a ton of trophy gain in just a short amount of time. Now I will say, maybe put the brakes on the showdown a little bit once you get like up there in trophies, like 300 trophies to like 200 trophies. Basically just play it until you feel comfortable, and then until maybe you start losing a lot, or you're having a tough time surviving to at least 5th place, because once you rise up in the trophies, 5th place is like the deciding factor of if you're gonna gain trophies or if you're gonna lose trophies, because 5th place you always gain 1, except for early on, but then anything below that you might start losing. So up until maybe you get to that point in showdown, then I would say back off. But honestly, just try and survive. And early on, a lot of people just kind of die really quickly, so that's very helpful. So showdown is a great way, and a lot of brawlers, basically any brawler, can win in showdown too. I would say you kind of get the idea of like what brawlers are strong on which map. Like for instance, let's say Bull. He usually is pretty good on Feast or Famine, or the maps that have a lot of grass and stuff. So try and pick brawlers that are good for the specific map. If there's a lot of walls, like Dynamite and Barley are good on those as well to lob over them. So look at the map, be like, would this brawler be good? But generally early on it doesn't really matter, or in general, like you could win with any brawler. So fastest way for sure is a showdown, hop into it up until the point where you start maybe losing a little bit. So for tip number 2, this is actually really important. You want to use the brawlers in which game modes they are best in. I'll probably throw like a graphic up of all the brawlers, and I'll have like a check mark which game modes they are good in. I don't know how good the graphic's gonna be. It'll be my first time making one, and I'll probably make it in Excel this time. As we go on, I might improve it. But yeah, generally I would say look at this list, and those are the game modes you typically want to stick to for some maps. Like for instance though, for Piper, I don't have her marked on gem grab, but there are some gem grab maps that she can be very good on, like if it's wide open or there's a long lane in the middle. So yes, sometimes the brawler could be good in a specific game mode, but I'm just going off of like overall in general. Like for instance, Bull, amazing in showdown, amazing in heist. You kind of don't want to play him on bounty, except for maybe like on Snake Prairie where there's a lot of grass. So that's why we only have him mainly for those two. And he's decent in Brawl Ball too. I might have put that on there. But for Leon, for instance, he's basically good in anything. Like you can hop into any mode and play him in anything. But now another good example is like Pam. She's really, really good in gem grab and showdown. You don't really want to play her in bounty. You don't really want to play her in heist. In Brawl Ball she can be okay, but typically there's other brawlers that are way better than her. Another good example is like Penny. She's really nasty to deal with in bounty, and she is very good as like a gem carrier in gem grab. But you kind of don't want to play her in the other ones. So just play the brawlers where they are overall dominant in. And the next one too, that this is tip number 3 that kind of falls in line with this, is play them on the maps that they are really good in too. Now this one, since there's so many maps and it's just so many things to get into, like This one is a little bit difficult. I'll just give a few examples here though. Kind of already gave one example for this, and this was Piper. Like some maps in the gem grab she is good on, and those would be like Echo Chamber, where there's a big wide open lane in the middle and a lot of long lanes. The other one is Storm Fort, where like she has brush that she can camp in on the right, and she has long lanes on the right and on the left. Because now with Stone Fort though, like there tends to be a lot of like shotgun brawlers that might be roaming through there, so you gotta have to play it safe. But those are just a little bit of examples, and you kind of just will see as you play more like, oh, this brawler is good on this map. Like brawlers that have a lot of walls and a lot of like protection and whatnot, lobbers are pretty good. Like those are the Barley and the Dynamites. And then also like maybe there's a lot of corners and angles and bounce things you can bounce off. Ricochet is really good in those. So you will notice some brawlers are really good on some maps and bad in the others, even though they are decent in some game modes. So it's hard to say like, oh, this brawler's usually only good in this one, or this brawler's usually only good in this one. It's more on the map side, but I just want to give you guys like in general which game modes you should be playing which brawler. And then the maps you're gonna kind of have to figure out as time goes on. I could do more in-depth stuff for each map. If you guys would like to see that, let me know. But those are tips 2 and 3 kind of combined a little bit, but it is very, very important. So tip number 4 can be a little bit hard to do, and that is try and play with people that you feel comfortable with, or people that you think are solid players, or people that you're just trying to get better with. It could be real people friends, it could be online friends, it could be people from a club, it could be random teammates that maybe you're going in solo queue and you're just like, all right, I'm going in solo, hopefully I get good teammates. And you might get, after a couple tries, you might get really bad teammates, but every so often you play, there's usually going to be a good teammate that you notice is like, oh yeah, this guy's good and he works well with the brawler that I'm using. You want to hit the play again and try and team up with them. And then if you guys keep doing well together, later on you can like send him a friend request and hopefully he accepts it, and you can then build like a little group there and continue on. So I will say though, like playing solo does get a little bit of a bad rap, because a lot of times you can face like other teams. I wish they would split the queue where like if you're a team, you have a higher chance of actually playing another team, and then where if you're playing solo, like you have a higher chance of only playing like other solo players. I know especially in like high trophies it's going to take a while for more of like the community to get more trophies and everything, but for now it's like if you happen to go in solo and no one else is on, even I do this sometimes, it's like I'll just play. And yes, I go into with the mindset like sometimes my teammates might be bad or might not know really what to do, or we just get like a bad comp that doesn't work well. But every so often you'll find like a really good teammate and you just play again with them, and then hopefully you get another solid teammate, and then you just are running with those guys for a while. Then after a while you might send a friend request and might have a good solid teammate to play with if you don't have anyone. So it's a little bit of a grind that way if you don't have like friends to play with, or your no club mates are on or anything. And then try and play with people that are kind of around your trophy range, maybe a little bit above you, so you get that experience of playing a little bit higher trophy people. But you don't want it to be too drastic, because then you might be playing people that are way too high level for you and you might be able to not do great. But try your best. If you're going into like 3v3 and team modes, just go in, because it's such a huge advantage to go in with a team already, because you can pick the comp. You can be like, all right, you're going to be the gem carrier, I'm going to be left lane, you're going to be right lane, and this comp's going to work well together. So that is like a huge advantage over just a solo queue team going in and then maybe not knowing what their partners will be and everything. So try your best to maybe try to find a team, but if you can't, try the method of playing, hopefully find a good teammate, and then trying to team up with them or just play again with them a bunch. So the last tip here is pretty straightforward, but maybe you wouldn't have thought about it if you maybe haven't heard it. So it is play the brawlers that are like super strong in the current meta, because guys, like Brawl Stars has balance changes and they mix up like what brawlers are good and what brawlers might be lacking. They might try and improve them, and if brawlers are overpowered, they might give them a little bit nerf, or maybe they might over nerf them and they might be bad. So play the brawlers that are really dominant at this current time, and then if they get like a nerfed really hardcore and they're not as good, you kind of just want to stay away from them maybe, or you have to like retool, see what they're good in or with what changed about them, and then just reevaluate after the balance change. But play the brawlers like that are super strong right now. So the top ones are Leon. If you have Leon, you should be grinding them up right now, because an update could be at any moment. There could be a balance change soon, and he is like #1 on the chopping list to get like a nerf, because he is good in every game mode. and he does so much damage and just can melt everything. And I think it's a little bit unfair for Leon right now. So if you have Leon, try and push him up. You can push him up Showdown, you can push him up Gem Grab, Bounty, Heist, Brawl Ball, anything you want really. He is so good. So if you have Leon, push him up. Another one is Spike. I feel like he's really good at the moment too. I think he's number 2 brawler at the moment, and he might be in line because he did just receive a nerf last balance change, but he might still be in line for another one. So Spike is another one on the radar. Interesting enough, it's 2 legendaries. The next one up is Pam. I feel like she might get a little bit of an HP reduction again because she's like one of the best gem grab gem carriers, or the gem carriers I guess is a better way. And she just has so much health. She has a long range, she melts up close, she heals. So she is very, very strong, and I feel like she might get toned down a little bit. So try and push up Pam now. Another one is Bull. Now Bull is very good in Heist, and he's like a huge issue in a lot of like the showdown maps where there's a lot of grass in the middle, or just basically where you can kind of camp in the grass and just shred, because he does so much damage up close. And if someone just like randomly face checks a brush and he just destroys, he does destroy like up close. So Bull, I feel like they buffed him the last balance change, and I don't really see why. He was super good before, and I think they just put him a little bit over the top with his HP buff last time. So I feel like he's gonna get toned down a little bit, but right now he's like pretty good. He's OP. I wouldn't say as OP as like a Leon, but I feel like he might get reverted back to his old HP. So those are like the 4 main ones, and then keep in mind like other brawlers that maybe are kind of lacking at the moment. Like I feel like Crow might receive a buff. Another one might be like I want to say Mortis, but I don't. Maybe even a little bit of Daryl. Daryl's good overall in a lot of the game modes. It's just like I feel like a lot of people kind of struggle to play him, and fit his play style, I guess. And I feel like with that, like Supercell's gonna look at the numbers and maybe see like, all right, people are having a tough time with Daryl. We might just give him a little bit of love. So brawlers like that can be good, but in the right hands, but the majority maybe are kind of struggling a little bit. So I feel like those brawlers, they might get a balance change. So you don't typically need to, if it's a bad brawler, like just kind of maybe wait till they get a balance change and then go hardcore and try and push them up. Although I said you want to like for sure focus on like the ones that are OP at this moment, because if they get nerfed, they're going to be harder to push in the future. Another thing too is like you kind of want to push evenly, so you can, because your trophy count is accumulated by all of your brawlers. So it's just going to help you in the long run. I know I've stated this before. It's like going to help you learn the weaknesses and strengths of other brawlers that you're playing. So maybe when you go up against them, you know what they're bad against or whatever. And so overall, it's going to make you a little bit overall like well-rounded and better player. You may hear Chloe barking because Carla did just get home. I did kind of lose my train of thought there, but I guess that's like my final thing is like, don't be afraid of the grind. And if you start maybe losing a little bit trophies, try and like not get super mad or whatever. Because I feel like if you play mad, or you play kind of like tilted, I guess, you tend to play worse. And I'd say try and keep like a positive attitude with your teammates or whatever, or just even playing in general, and you tend to play better. So hopefully though, these tips help you guys, and let me know if other tips that maybe you guys have for trophy pushing, or what you guys like in general, or anything. So and one other thing too is practice. You gotta practice as well. I feel like that's kind of self-explanatory so I didn't really put that in the tip thing. But thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this little bit of a strategy video. I'm glad I got 11,000, but I'm not content with that. I definitely want to push up to like 12,000, 13,000, whatever. So that's the next step for me. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for support on the channel. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys later.